rough times lately with the transition from going to a new
Nope, we haven't
new
talked
kind of
about the patch
podcast.
video.
Um,
We haven't done a podcast in
but
a few weeks.
um,
It could be a big thing eventually.
welcome everyone to CPL podcast number 26. And today we have, of course, KingLewie,
Yo.
and we have our guest today, Hannah.
Hey.
All right. So today, first on the subject, just would like to mention to everyone that I will be not replacing Sarnas, but the new co-host with KingLewie, and I'll let all knew it, that you guys know that. Another housekeeping thing is there may be a potential overhaul coming soon to the podcast. It may change the podcast topics, but it also might change to a completely different thing. It might change from a podcast to more or less a interactive gaming event where we cast matches of pro players, etc., just going at it kind of thing, instead of
Like a live Broadway show?
Yeah, exactly. So
with dancers?
I don't know. We might make a little dance in the background. But yes, we will definitely see some sort of overhaul or change potentially happen in the coming week. So, CPL has gone some very changing rules, and starting April 1st, so of course April Fool's Day, there's been a new rule that is affecting a lot of players that people don't know about. And this rule is that your capital and your 66% of your cities must be taken in order for you to leave, and you must stay another turn after in order to leave. Because if you don't, and if you accept the emergency, you have to say. If you decline it, then you can leave, because it would give lots of free gold to the person that wins the emergency, and it's just a huge advantage. Thoughts?
I don't do a lot of free-for-alls, but I guess that sounds like a... What was it just the emergencies that were messing up made the need to change the rule?
Yeah, mostly emergencies. And
I mostly do duels, of course.
Right. Yeah. What about you, Hannah? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, I guess. I haven't had a lot of experience yet with emergencies.
Mm-hmm. Emergencies, they just basically, they're a new mechanic, obviously, and a lot of people don't really know about it yet. So, I guess we'll have to see.
I've played them in single player, but I don't think I've ever gotten one yet in multiplayer.
Right.
We could make an emergency here by just stop talking and see how long it takes MysteriousX to melt down. But we won't do that too.
Very funny, Louis. But next on the top block is just a topic from lots of players called "Why do we do World Age New? Why is that a default thing? Why do we do resources abundant default? Because it's always a staple thing to do when hosts are making their lobbies. It's always World Age New, resources abundant, right? So, why do you guys think we do that? First of all, I want to get both of your guys' opinions.
Because it's just more, the World Age New makes you more hills, right? So it's just better for production, right?
Mm-hmm. That's been the idea, but that's been an idea for a long time. So you get more hills, the games are faster, and it's more enjoyable because faster production is, I guess, enjoyable. And obviously, it's more use of the land than just farms around. But it's been argued that having hills instead of flat land almost everywhere makes the games actually longer than they are. And it's a debated topic with a lot of people in CPL. And some people think that melee units and ranged units are a lot more strong in Rise and Fall, which without a doubt they are. Oligarchy come in, but they're slow. So it's a 1 movement tile per hill, but 2 with flatland.
Unlike race car missionaries.
Yes, unlike race car missionaries with missionaries, golden ages. Now, what do you think, Hannah?
I thought we already played all of our games on New Age.
Yeah, we do. That's why we're talking about it.
Oh, gotcha.
Why
Yeah,
does it make it longer? Because why do they think it makes the game longer?
Because the units
Too
move
many
slower.
units?
Melee units
Yeah,
are
the slower
undoubtedly
movement.
stronger and have less movement than cavalry, which are effectively nerfed in Rise and Fall.
I still like to see people play more like turn limit games, but people don't seem to be too excited about that. But I think it's a good insurance policy against the games going way too long,
Well, yeah, I guess I can.
which
see
seems to be a
there.
problem. We get these like 6-hour plus games.
Right, of course.
That's not going to help us get like new players in. I think we definitely need more like shorter game options to get new players
Well,
in.
yeah, we always have duels, but duels isn't the most popular thing. It's popular among some people, but not among the general community. Because I think they're boring, which I don't think they are. But we also have scenario games that mostly created by Agathy. Shout out to him for creating scenario games. But it's mostly FFA
We
and
have a
teamers now.
serious tournament in the ADCP, so that Agathy is in that. We just actually people have started playing that. So yeah, that's underway. So it's just like the 4 multiplayer ones, the Hallowed Grounds and the Ancient Rivals, the Nuclear one, and there's one, the religious one.
Mm-hmm. It's I forget what.
That's the Hallowed Grounds. I mean, the other one is
You're talking
Cavalry
about
and
like the Indonesia
Cannonades
one.
or
It's
something.
like it has all the East Asian civs. I forget what it's called.
There's just 4 that are multiplayer. The other one's Cavalry and Cannonades or whatever. It's like a combat focused one.
Right. Like an industrial one, I think.
And Hannah's in the finals of Doha, going for those big 250 points.
Oh, what do you think?
Oh, yeah.
What's your insight on that? Who you facing, Hannah?
Steel Strong. I think we're going to try to play tomorrow.
Still strong. I know. I've played him before. I think you guys are evenly matched.
I don't think
She's
we've
driven. She's driven to get more ranking points than under.
Why is that?
That's just important to her, I'm assuming.
Why is that, Hannah? Is that true?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Under had like he had a very easy draw, and he had a lot of defaults, so he actually got like 160 points in the Australian Open. But yeah, he definitely had a lucky draw. So if Hannah wins that match, she'll pass him. Actually, she's already tied him in points just by getting to the finals because she has 160 already. So she's already tied under.
Ah.
Maybe Under will like text in some message during the podcast. I would assume he's listening.
I would assume. Alright.
That's my clickety clackety keyboard you can hear. It's all about the clack.
Yeah, but what about the Australian Open? It's the very first tournament, and it still hasn't finished yet.
Yeah, we're almost done. Harambe and Task are on the other side of the draw in the semifinals. They just have to play their final game. They're on their fifth.
Oh, so I presume it's the very finals, Task Force Fish versus Harambe, and it's 2-2.
That's a semifinals, and then the Animation is already in the finals in the other half of the draw.
Ah, so if we go to the semifinals and then we go to finals, which would be whoever wins Harambe and Task Force forces to Harambe. Or to Automation. That's right. What are you guys' predictions? Who do you think is going to win the semifinals?
I don't know. It seems to be very close. They're 2-2, so we'll see. I think they'll probably finish up this weekend.
Are you rooting for someone?
No, not really.
What about you, Hannah?
Who is going to go against the winner of the Harambe Task game?
Animation.
Yeah, who do you think is going to win?
Oh, man.
No, who do you think is going to win the first tournament? Automation, Harambe, or Task Force?
That's tricky. They're all top players.
Sure.
Hannah and I had an epic 4-hour match in one of the ADCP matches that I lost.
Oh, you
She
lost?
got a
You-
space victory.
Yeah.
Of course you did. What turn was it? 300?
The one where you have a continent's Ren start.
Oh.
I think it's like Quito, I think.
That's yeah. Yeah, it seems like the ADCP is just going nuts. I mean, tournament coming out maybe every day, or every 2 or 3 days.
Every week I'm putting out but a lot of weeks there's 2 tournaments, and then one week we had like a particularly strong like turnout, so we actually made another tournament. So even though it's only like planned for one, if we get enough people that try to do, we just pop another tournament. So it's a little bit of issue. We're trying to remind people a lot to. So if you're in the ADCP, you've probably got a annoying message from me to get your matches done. It's the town elders, the ADCP town elders get on me. They're mean people, and they don't want to see tournaments get done.
Blaze saying Task Force will win because Harambe will DC the final match, and Automation will cry because he will get third.
Who is saying that?
Blaze. KC Blaze. Funny.
In the text lobby? I don't
No,
see it. Maybe I just
in the Twitch chat.
oh, in the Twitch. That's right. There's a Twitch.
Yep. But I also want to move on from the ADCP to how the new March or April upcoming update. So basically what's going on, Magnus will be changed. We don't know the exact specifics yet, but we do know that he is getting nerfed, and so is Korea.
There's gonna be more turtles.
Oh yeah, the best thing about the fast is that there's going to be more turtle. That's
Yep.
definitely what we wanted. There's AI changes to how AI does more dealings, but I think it's still gonna suck. But we'll see though. We're also changing how Casa's Ballet work, which we don't really use in multiplayer unless you're somehow using it Scotland's or George's ability, which is really hard to do. You have to denounce for it, so it's like a heads up, like red alert, red flag that you're going to be attacked with a special bonus.
And religion is going to affect loyalty, which it should have already done, but that's good that they're finally putting that in there.
Oh, that's right. Religion now affects loyalty. So basically, what it is that if you found a religion, right, then the cities that are majority following a religion gain a, not sure what loyalty boost, but it's a reasonably sized loyalty boost towards your civ. And if you don't have religion and someone else converted to your religion, that city loses loyalty from them and adds loyalty to your civ. So it not only affects religious gameplay, it actually affects buffing religion in a sense.
So wait, what's the exact mechanic again? That how much is it gonna when you
We
you
don't know the
like
specifics yet of the exact bonus, like if it's +3 or +5 or whatever. But we do know that even if you don't found a religion, and your city is converted from a different civ, you lose loyalty towards the other civ, and they gain loyalty.
Yeah, I always thought they would do that from the beginning, but at least they're finally implementing it now.
Mhm.
And also in other news that's probably mainly important only to me is there's been talk of Death is gonna duel Harambe. There's been rumbling in the league, so that's good. I always want to see the top players duel, so I hope that actually happens.
Yeah, Blaze saying that I think he's going to see Korea 4+ science change to +2 science instead, which would be a huge. I wouldn't say +2 science not affected by mountains is, I wouldn't say a bad thing. It's a guaranteed +2, right? So it's a good reasonably amount, but it's not +4. I think maybe +3 would be reasonably better, but I don't know. You also have to take into account that if you have a district next to it, then it gets minus. Except for government plaza.
And we have like an all piece tournament coming up next week for the ADCP, so that should be interesting. Should be a lot of religion stuff going on, or or science or culture, things that people don't normally do. Will because you can't attack anybody or declare war,
Well,
so
right.
you have that's
let's
should be an interesting tournament.
Let's try to move on from the ABC and let's focus on the new updates coming out. It's really gonna change the meta here. Huge. Magnus is always picked first, if not Amani, in a dire situation that you want a city state, or maybe Victor if you're being attacked with a warrior. But it's always Magnus, right? 100% is just so strong. So maybe changing to 50%, 75%. Even if at 50%, it's still gonna be used. No doubt about it, right? Just put on your Maritime Industries card, your Ghost card, instant 100% with chop. It's even if it's 50%, it's still gonna be great. The amount of overflow you can get with that players know how, if they know how to use it, they can pump out their districts, top out a few galleys, and pump their districts out in one turn.
Plus, it's a good way to get your population up faster. Because a lot of times you get a lot of food in those chops.
It's mostly production. What do you think about overflow, Hannah?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely OP, so I think this is one of the better changes.
One of the better changes for the better, or do you think it's for in the sense where it's going to change up the meta?
It'll definitely change the meta, but I think it's a good change.
I don't mind at Magnus. I like the chopping because you eventually you run out of tiles to chop pretty fast, and then you end up having to transfer them over, and that you have to wait 5 turns, and I don't really mind it.
Right. When it really comes to chops, though, it doesn't even matter if you have flatland chops or you have hill chops, because if you have hill chops, chop the woods, put a mine down. If it's the flatland, put down maybe farms, your special improvement, or even a district. Having a lumber mill or just a yield of a forest is not that great. It's good in the start, but not that great.
It makes you want to use the pyramids more to get the extra builder charge, and then later on there's that card that gives you +2 builder charges. So those combine those with Magnus can be pretty cool, pretty good.
Right. Yeah, Blaze saying 1 stone chop with the Ghost card and Magnus will get you 3 turns in 2 turns. Yeah, but it's true. But then what's even more OP, for example, in duels, for example, when you're very close to the other player and you have an encampment set up, right? Next to their city, you have 2 or 3, 4 workers ready to chop all the woods and stone in your city. You'll have so much overflow, 1, and 2, you'll have 4 or 5 swords just right out of the bank coming out of that encampment.
I'm really happy that they changed that. Like the swords are a lot more, they're more powerful now, so it shuts down. I'm really happy that got shut down. The horseman and cav rush meta is like totally changed, because that seemed like people were kind of sick of that. So I'm glad that changed.
For sure.
It's more defensive, right? Rise and Fall is like, it gives you more power to defensive players.
Yeah, it gives you a lot more powers to defensive players. So you really need to have the advantage. You really need to have the general, and they don't. You really need to have double oligarchy, and they don't. Victor coming in. Victor is such a strong governor when defending, with garrison commander, 5 in your territory, double shoot of your walls. You have a frigate or a crossbow somewhere, and they do insane damage. Bastions on the card.
Plus, it's just not. It doesn't. It's harder to steamroll now, because when you take somebody's city, if they're near their cities, that you're not going to be able to hold it because of the loyalty. So that changes it. It's not like the old way. You take somebody's cities and you get that snowball effect. Now it's harder to get that.
Oh, of course. Some of the top players usually intentionally would take settlers, right, and they would just settle a troll city somewhere way across their empire, and you wouldn't even know.
Also, I think another, like, for me at least, exciting development in the league is that there's people that are trying different things with the turn timer. Like there was that teamer that would have like a 25-second turn timer, which is, I agree, that's kind of ridiculous. But I'm glad that they're trying out different stuff to make the games faster.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 25 is a little, but it's cool. But some people playing with really long turn timers, right? Like 3 minutes. I mean, like almost 4 minutes sometimes later in the game.
Well, it gets there when it's in the modern era, which is very understandable. But usually it's 165 to start with. Some people like it longer, some people like it shorter. But then again, you play a lot of duels, so there's also the perspective of turn timer. You running out the timer even on duels sometimes if it's 120. Once you get to the medieval age, it's kind of hard to manage everything if you're trying to sim properly and war someone.
It's okay. People just prioritize. I still think that's one of the things like duels part that the draw of duels for some people is that the faster game. So yeah, if we start getting the duels going into like 3 hours or it starts, yeah,
Well, of
it's
course.
not really shorter anymore.
Well, of course, at the same time though, it's only 2 players in, right? So they're bound to go fast unless one person is extremely slow. They're not waiting on 7, 9 other people to do their turn.
But Hannah and I had like a 4-hour duel almost. I've had another 4-hour duel and so it happens. Like you can have really long duels.
Yeah, it happens. No one takes initiative and no one goes for it. Something like you two could happen like that.
That's why I'd like to see more. I'd like to see some like duels like with a faster turn timer just to get people to play some like 1-hour duels. Just I think that helped. Just anything that's
It's
shorter
like
that's going to be
a
good for
time
newer
limit
players.
kind of thing.
That too, you can have like a turn limit. Not a, well, I mean, turn limit's going to make a time limit, but I think it'll be good to see some like 1-hour duels where that like at least the game's not going to go more than an hour and you could play. I'd rather play like a lot of shorter matches than one long match personally.
Right.
Maybe it's because I'm losing so much that I like to always like start over and try something new.
You can make
Lose
the
in a
turn
different
timer
way.
like any. You can make it 1, and it's valid. It's valid. You can play a 1 turn timer, 1 second turn timer. Not the best. Obviously, you can't even settle your first turn. Then you can't do anything. You can make it as long as you can, as long as you want to use it for like hours for a turn. So it's all about changing what.
I think I'd like to try it sometime like 60-second turn timer for duels.
60 second is too low in my opinion. Fast. What do you think, Hannah? Oh, getting feedback.
I see her lighting up green, but I don't hear anything.
I don't know. Oh, well, I guess they're having technical difficulties, Hannah. But yeah, Blaze and Alter Ego, thank you. Obviously.
They
You're
think
welcome.
what are they saying in the Twitch chat?
In the Twitch chat. But yeah, you're welcome for streaming this. I always appreciate your viewership, guys.
Yeah, we're happy to have the fans, and we try to hopefully this podcast brings in some new players to the CPL or just we figure probably most of the listeners are in the CPL, so it's just a good way to like go over news and topics that people want to talk about. And it's a good way to mention that the podcast is unofficially sponsored by Arby's.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yep, they got euros now, man. Can't believe I don't have an Arby's near me though. Yeah, they got euros. They do it to that Bonnie Tyler. They do it to like only a hero, and then when there's for her to say hero, then Ving Rhames is going euro.
That's funny.
It's pretty amusing. I like it.
But
I don't know if I trust Arby's heroes.
Sorry. I did want to suggest a topic that a lot of I've seen around, and a lot of new players seem to want as well. Is what it is really a staging coaching, right? Where people can go to learn how CPL works, one, but also learn how the CPL play style is, because CPL play style is extremely different from pubs, from playing single player, from just playing with your friends. it's about playing to win. It's about also playing for fun, but also it's playing to win and play seriously. We're thinking
We
of
had
making
something similar before, and nobody really used it, but it's a good idea.
Well, I didn't. I would say we didn't use it because it was 1700 and under, right? I believe was the last one, right? And it wasn't necessarily a staging coaching, which what I was going to suggest is where there'd be coach roles where people are known to be, in a sense, helpful, instructable, and they know how to play the game properly. Obviously have experience in CPL in general. We're thinking of adding that.
So I want to know what's it like, Hannah, being one of the few women in the CPL? I think are most of the guys pretty nice to you? I mean, is it okay, or is it? It's got to be different than your average guy because there aren't many. We don't have many women in the CPL, so I just wonder what is that like?
I don't know. I don't think it's that different.
Yeah, I don't think it is either. I feel like CPL is a great place, and when it comes to diversity and equality, and dealing with toxicity and racism, etc. That obviously does not have any place.
Yeah, it's mostly just trash talking. It's not. Yeah, it's not really gender related trash talking. Just general trash talking.
Yeah, it can be
Just people getting upset about the game and some rule they don't like or something, or
right. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about battering rams and siege towers with Ren units and forward?
I don't think I ever used battering rams before, so I know that there's a rule you can't use certain units with the battering rams because it just doesn't make any sense, right? To have certain.
Well, do you know how
But
battering rams work?
don't you like load? You can put like a troop in it or something, and does that increase the effectiveness of it?
Kind of. Basically, what it is, if you have your battering ram adjacent to the city with walls, your unit will do full damage to the walls instead of doing reduced damage, which normally does. So if there's walls, and it has equal strength to your unit, unless you have a lot of units of suicide into, you're gonna need one a battering ram or two ranged or siege units to take the walls out. So why people tend to use the Renaissance and forward without battering rams and siege units like that is that it speeds up the way that cavalry go around. It just for example, there's a cavalry promotion where that's the fourth promotion, right? And you can attach your cavalry to it, and it will go wherever the cavalry goes.
But what's the bonus you get if you're any unit next to the battering ram gets what normally you only do half damage to walls?
It's not.
If
It's I don't know exactly. I think it might be quarter damage. But it's not adjacent to the battering ram. It's if the battering ram is adjacent to the city whatsoever or encampment, the positive encampment too, then any unit that attacks it does full damage to walls. With siege tower, it ignores the walls and goes straight for the health of the city, as if the walls were not.
yeah, I don't use those. I don't think I've ever used those too often, but yeah, I could see how that could be effective in trying to take down some strong walls.
They're very strong, very very strong. Especially Asian walls, they will fall like paper people when they'll fall like paper people when, especially with Asian walls, if you use them. What about you, Hannah? What do you think?
What about them?
Like, what do you think about Renaissance units and forward should be used with them?
Oh, I don't know. That's tricky. I think it's pretty popular, but I'm all for not making it easier to attack. So
Right.
I'd rather not. But
At the same time, now with Rise and Fall, you can chop out your walls and
yeah, it
chop
is much
out
easier to
castle
Hannah
defend.
likes to
walls,
sim, right?
Renaissance
You like to
walls
sim,
really
and then
easily.
you're not as much about the war, right? You like to sim, right, Hannah?
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of people are about war here. War's very
She
fun.
gets enough war with under. She doesn't. She needs peace in the actual game.
Have you guys talked at all about the general potential
Oh
change
yes,
on
I also
here?
wanted to talk about that. That was the last topic. The general
Big
rule
one.
change with Rise and Fall with General Rule A. This is a huge topic that a lot of people are actually disputing now after Rise and Fall, because with Victor, you can counter Rule A now with Victor. You can, with all of his promotions, you can counter it. And because they're on defense, they can use a general, but you can't unless you conquer one of their cities real quick and put your general in. But then again, you'll lose the city to loyalty if you don't cover. Even if you do, sometimes you'll lose. So, we're discussing about if we want to make Rule A default, or make it at just keep on voting it, or to encourage not Rule A, or to get rid of Rule A in general. What do you guys think?
I never have any. I never. I always like to let the generals do whatever. So I personally don't generally play with any of the Rule A or any kind of restrictions on the classic generals. It's only +5. I never thought it was like. I don't see why people are so big on like limiting them.
Well, +5 is a great advantage.
But they're not that hard to get. It's not like the other person can't get some too. You just have to just do those projects. You can get one pretty fast.
Yeah, but only 3 people in an 8 FFA can get. And mainly what's going to happen is if you get a general, if your neighbor gets a general, you're going to want to project a general, or else they're going to attack you, and you're probably going to lose. Generals are a huge important factor in attacking and defending.
But there's more stuff you can do to defend now. Like if you get that Dark Age, you can get that. What's that? Is that a +4 to like
+5.
your
It's
unit?
+5 for all melee attack. Twilight Valor. And heal outside you. What do you think, Kenna? Do you think it should be removed entirely? What do you think?
I like the general rule A, again, just because I like making it harder to attack, but since Rise and Fall, it's probably not as vital,
Right.
since it is so easy to defend now.
Then again, you have to use your governor points to actually get promotions. You're wasting promotions
Yeah,
you might
that's
be
true.
using on Reyna or Agnes or Ngala, Bonnie.
Do you want to officially, now that we have this massive forum for you, Hannah? Do you want to like officially say something about forgetting Under's birthday?
The bot was disabled, so it's gone now.
Little southern accent in there. but yeah, that's a great place to stop here. Thank you all for watching.
That's on the after hours podcast, which is Hannah and Under talking about their relationship. It's on a different channel.
That's for private users only. And for VIP,
It's a premium. It's like a premium this premium CPL.
All right, we'll see you guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for coming on, Hannah.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, guys.